Oh yeah. So essentially, they told me for yesterday at around 5 o'clock that this was the policy that they were going with. It was going to be an opt-out internet filter. It was going to be something that people would have installed on either their home device or it would be on their mobile phone. And the only way you could actually get out of it is if you called up your internet service provider and said, look, I actually want to be able to access adult content. And now, shortly after that, they've since come out and said, no, that's not our policy at all. We're actually very anti-filter.
Was it a surprise to you when Paul Fletcher actually said this was the way they are going to go, because they had been really opposed to any kind of censorship or filter before this point?
I was kind of surprised. I mean, in the policy document, pretty much everything else within that particular policy had been announced by the coalition before, but this seems to have sort of been added at the last minute, sort of mimicking what the UK's internet filtering proposal is. And it wasn't until I got it verified that I knew that, yeah, this is what they were planning.
Now, of course, if they had gone down this route, as you say, there are other experiences to compare it to. Is it something that has become a popular idea, this notion of opting out as a way of trying to control, I guess, people ending up on websites that they had no intention of going to?
I think that opting out is probably still going to be treated by a lot of people as being tantamount to censorship. So people don't want to have to say that they want to be able to access whatever content they want. The coalition's policy was around the idea that they wanted to take the stress out of the process for parents, but there are millions of people who live in a home with an internet connection that don't have kids, so this policy isn't really required for them. And the fact that they were looking at making it compulsory for even people who didn't have kids was very, very strange.
It is strange. And then, of course, I guess they've now gone back to what has always been their policy. A lot of confusion amongst many before they made that decision. In your mind, what do you think brought them to this proposal? Do you think it was somebody else trying to push it through without necessarily getting the tick off from head office?
That's the interesting thing. I had a sneaking suspicion that it was a group like the Australian Christian Lobby that was looking at, they're very much in favour of internet filtering, but I had a look at their website yesterday and they've got a whole bunch of policy questions put to all the different parties, and they specifically mentioned the UK filtering system, and the coalition in that response didn't actually mention the filter. So I'm wondering when it actually came about. It's not very clear.